Well, this time on JJ Speed Shop, we brought the CUDA to a Hollymo party. We haven't let the hotel yet. It doesn't like to start real well in the cold, but it's fine. Everything's fine. We definitely drove it the whole way. We didn't trailer it or anything. So So this video is going to be kind of a little bit out of order. This is actually Thursday the next week. We didn't really film a whole lot during the thrash week. We were really busy just trying to get the car growing. If you've built a car before, you know how that goes. But the car really impressed us both. It was still a complete basket case when we got there Friday night. The carb needed adjusted. It needed a little bit more timing. We didn't realize, you'll see that later too. I mean, we talked about how the factory service manual says 5 degrees before top dead center. It should be just perfectly fine. But really, it's more like 15. So your total would be like 36, 38, somewhere around there. And the whole car just woke right up. We were overheating. We took it down the main drag in Bowling Green. It overheated sitting in traffic. It just, I mean, it was an absolute basket case. We pulled back in the parking lot, shut it off. It lit a fireball out the back, and it's a good time. And we still had to cut the carpet, put the seal plates. I mean, it was not ready for the show, but it was good enough. It was good enough. It was about par for the course for us, you know. I'll show you some of the stuff we did and walk you around the car a little bit, and then we'll go for a drive, and I'll put like a side-by-side between how it was with the 6-cylinder. And I mean, I promised a burnout, so we're also going to do a pretty nasty burnout as well. But I'll give you for a walk. So some of the stuff that we had done in the last week, we made a return spring bracket and a throttle bracket. This was actually out of a transmission automatic shifter kit. I think it was a B&M or whatever. And then this, we took that from an 88 or 89 Ram Charger that was sitting in the junkyard. And my dad welded it together and kind of made it. It works. It's a little funky, but it works. We had to take the engine out about 14 times to put the headers on, and you know, you have to pull the steering shaft out, but this is where the hydraulic master cylinder is mounted. It actually looks pretty good. It doesn't leak anything. It looks kind of factory-ish. That was where the old e-brake cable went through, and we also got a new speedometer cable, so that actually works for once in the car's life. Since I've owned it, it hasn't worked. I tried greasing it with the lithium and all that kind of stuff, and it's just, I think it was broken halfway through it. Our voltage regulator is a little on the sad side, but as you can see, it's a Sears, so I don't know, it's probably 40 years old. We hooked up the cooling system, and then it's actually holding pretty well. It leaks a little bit out of the thermostat housing, but not enough for me or anybody to care about. The fan's still a 6-cylinder fan, but cruising down the highway, it cools just fine. When you're sitting in traffic, it does get a little bit hot, but I just don't drive it in traffic. Right? One of the problems we had was brand new Schumacher headers. I don't know if they didn't weld the port correctly or not, but it leaks pretty bad. It sounds like an old kind of a piece of crap because of it. But I called him, and he absolutely no problem is going to send me a new one. It's just kind of a bummer because this is the side you have to pull the whole engine out, basically, to get, because you got that torsion bar down there that the collector likes to hit on, and it's crammed in here. It's not a 440, so it's a little bit better, but it's still it's really close in there. And that way we can keep the blower motor in that, because the 440s are just a little bit taller, and I think we probably would have taken that out if we tried. We repurposed a what do you call it? It was this H pipe down here is actually from a Fox body. We kind of made it a little wider, and he custom built a exhaust with some stuff we had just laying around. That's an old set of Flowmaster 40s or 44s. Put some turn downs just to get it done. It's not permanent, but it's good enough for right now. And you can see the nice seam sealer we put under here. And there's one of the rods that we had to change out. Where's I think it's the front one, yeah. The 3/4 rod right in front we had to change out at the show, because the one that we got sent was a non-overdrive and we needed the overdrive. It's just a little bit longer because one of the levers gets flipped upside down, because third is actually fourth and fourth is actually third. That's how they did the overdrive. We made a score on Facebook Marketplace, this 4-inch ginormous drive shaft that had 1350 U-joints, which is pretty trick. Going back to the 8.8 back there. Let me get back up here. And we put, we put new carpet in here because this was all worn out and pretty bad. It's not the right shift handle, but it works for now. You kind of have to lean forward to grab it. And there's the final product of how we hooked up the master cylinder. It was just the old Z-bar linkage, and we cut it off and then tap the inner threads and have a jam nut. Works really great. You can almost push it with your hand if you really, you can. And put the new sill plates, or not new, but cleaned up the sill plates and put those back in. But it looks really, really good. And I just, that's what I've always wanted it to do, is just to have that guy right here, sitting in here. And I want a ball. The old school pistol grip was really cool in 1985, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. But we'll take you for a ride and go down to our super secret test track to see how it actually drives. Give her a little cold start. It's not really cold, but it's surprisingly easy to drive. Even with manual steering, manual brakes, the hydraulic clutch, if anybody is on the fence, do it. Absolutely do a hydraulic clutch. Completely changes it. They have real good oil pressure. All the gauges work now. That voltage regulator is a little goofy. You'll see the needle bouncing all over the place and the headlights kind of dim, and who knows. That alternator also is probably 50 years old. Here, or you'll be jamming your elbow into their guts the whole time. And it still has 6-cylinder leaf springs, so you can't really grab second real hard, or else it'll try to yank the rear end out of it. We'll give you a nice little pull. Full throttle. Oh, you poor baby. You're so slow. Like, it's not fast, but it's definitely a lot better than that 6-cylinder. I don't have to laugh at it now. You can see it's a little too far. You kind of have to lean forward to drive it. We tried to find some at the swap meet at Full Party, but nobody really had the A-body ones. Or if they did, it had the weird push-in style, or it was an old Inland, which has the 3 bolts and it just won't work with a curve shifter. Stoplight, it just sits there and like a real hot rod. this for about 5 years. About since I bought the car, I wanted a big block and a 4-speed in it. Little car, big engine. Small blocks run out pretty good too. Then they're lighter. But there's just something about a big block sitting in there. You open the hood and you're like, oh, you see that weird distributor that points out crooked? It's basically a Roadrunner, but smaller.
Dude! Barely. Yeah.
Well, she's loaded up on the trailer. We're gonna take it down to Bowling Green. It's about 4 hours from St. Louis. We'll check in when we finally get there. I mean, technically we're driving it all the way there. We're gonna drive it right into the show.
Next year we'll drive it all the way there.
Maybe.
So the first time we drove it was last night at 11 o'clock at night. So
for about 5 minutes around the parking lot. I don't trust driving this thing 4.5 hours.
Not on its maiden voyage. That'd be a bad idea.
All right, we'll see you there.
Here we are at Holly Mo Party. It's just a small section of it, and you can hear back in the background they're doing some. And John's under the car.
Yeah. Our the shift rod for 3/4 was the wrong one that we ordered, and it was for a regular 833, not an overdrive. The overdrive one's a 1/2 inch longer, and there is no way that you could make it work. So Brewer brought it with him, and so we can actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of a W. So we're gonna swap that out. Hopefully we can drive it like a normal car again. I mean, this show is huge. All Mopars. Hey, look, there's cars. Hey, look, there's more. I mean, this show is massive. Look how many cars there are. And some very expensive cars. And some new cars. And some original cars. And if that's not enough, there's even more. And there's a black car.
340 Duster.
With red interior.
And an air conditioner sticker on it. Chrysler Air Temp. Has the factory air conditioning under there. It's a bleeder. Oh, this is a beautiful car.
Wow, that's cool. Hey, it has the same gauges as the Barracuda. And there's a white car. With blue interior. And a Manuel shift-o-matic. And even more, you know, expensive cars. Goodness gracious. And there's green cars. With the, oh, can you see it? With pistol grip shifters. And 3 2-barrel carburetors. Goodness.
9.5, 446 pack road on an A12 car.
And the coolest hood in the world. Look at that. And really cool air cleaners. This is a black convertible right next to a pink Cuda. And there's yellow cars. And red, beautiful, beautiful Chargers. Ooh.
Earlier.
And there's even more cars.
Well, AMC.
Absolutely. All right. So
And booths. And yet, there's even more cars. And the little Barracuda's Dodge Twin. And you know that cool car. Look at that. 383, 4-speed. Finished 2 days ago. It's actually driving pretty nice. With a, you know, a reproduction trunk lid in the back. Needs a better shifter handle, but we'll get there. Check this out. It's a Hellcat swap Daytona. That's super cool. Man, look at that. That's a face only a mother can love. See that? That's an Aspen. You can tell that it's an Aspen because of the way that it is.
How's your Aspen?
How neat is that? Well, that's a wrap of day one at Holly Mo Party. We're gonna go get some Chinese food. Don't mind the spitting exhaust fan and somebody pulls in front of me. Love that. All right, we'll check in tomorrow morning or later tonight when we're doing burnouts for distance. See ya.
Well, the Holly Mo Party is over Sunday. I'm wearing my Ford shirt now.
Man, it looks so good sitting on the trailer.
Yes, it does.
It's surprised. It really did a good job. We adjusted the timing a little bit last night, and it ran.
A little bit.
Okay, well, we adjusted it quite a bit. So I read the factory service manual, and it said, 5 degrees before top dead center, and then everywhere on the internet, give it 12 to 15, and it oh my gosh, it runs 15 times better.
But you said it. You said it per the book, and we rolled with it. And we had 5 minutes to test drive this thing before we come down here. So it's whatever. It drives so much better now. Runs better. Has power. I tried to yank the rear end out of it last night, but that's okay.
Yeah, it still has 6-cylinder springs.
Yeah.
That's okay. It wheel hops like no other, and very scary when you try to grab second pretty hard.
All right.
But yeah, that's it. It looks like there's a bunch of rain coming in, and I doubt anybody's gonna be there, and we got a long drive home and we got to work tomorrow, and so we'll see you next time.
Just got back from Holly Mo Party. Had a blast.
that was a big
fun.
show. That was
big.
huge. We hung out with Tony Angelo. We met Josh from Sleeper Dude.
Uncle Tony's garage.
We were going through the what do you call it, the swap meet. We're walking around. There's just a guy that says "I hate cars" on the back of his shirt. Turns around, it's Uncle Tony's garage. That was pretty cool.
Super nice guy to talk to.
Yeah, he was really cool. Very genuine, just as you would expect him to be. But our next step would be our 69 Roadrunner. This car's pretty much done for now, so we're gonna just kind of set that aside for the right now. It runs and drives, it's good enough. We're gonna throw the 69 Roadrunner in here, put a 440 that we built 7, 8, 10, probably.
Has 0 miles on it, but it's sat in the garage for a while. You never know what kind of crap it's got into that.
Oh, it's been 10 years.
It's been a while.
It's been every bit of 10 years.
And we've used the blower around it. You don't know. You need to get it out, clean it out, make sure there's no sand in the block. Or
When we first moved into this shop, when I moved back from California, it looked fine, but you know, it's been in here. This building leaks pretty bad, so we'll pull it apart real quick, just take a look at it, make sure everything's good, put new head gaskets, seal it, reseal it back up, and throw that in there with an automatic. It's going to be a ratty muscle car, but it is a real 69 Roadrunner. It's
scorch red, black interior, only had bench seat. Only option that car had was automatic. I mean, it was just taxi cab, basic Roadrunner like everybody wanted.
It's exactly what you expect from. That's a Roadrunner. That's what it was supposed to be. Cheap, go fast, real hot rod. Our bank accounts are a little bit light, so we might be getting rid of that. If you want a 69 Roadrunner, you know, we'll show you exactly how bad it is, how good it is, you know, exactly everything you need to know about
parts
it.
with the car. We got 2 brand new AMD quarters for it. I mean, it's
pretty excited. There's a bunch of bags with little trim pieces and everything, so we're gonna take everything out of it, go through all the little bags. It'll be pretty cool. We'll bring you along, obviously, and then the next step on that is it does burn a little bit of oil. I think the valve stem seals are trashed. It's an old engine. It's been sitting around for a while. It's a little, I don't know. It doesn't seem as fast as it should be, so there's some more to be playing with it.
Gotta play with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not a carburetor whisperer, so I've done about as much as I know how to do. I know we got to rejet it, but there's this thing that sits over on the shelf. It's made by Holly too. It's called the Sniper EFI. I think that's gonna be the next thing. Just go right on there. Carburetors are cool. Don't get me wrong. They got the car running. I think that's pretty much what all they're good for now. It's not a race car, so you don't need all the fuel in the world. So we're gonna do a Holly EFI on this car at some point, probably in the next 4 or 5 years. Yeah, that's how that works. And I don't know. I think it's losing a little bit of compression. So I was thinking about pulling the heads and doing a valve job, and then, you know, while they're off, they make aluminum ones that look just like them. You know, but
Got to replace one of the headers.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. That's on its way. It should be here next week or so. So you kind of have to pull the engine back out to put it on. So excited. All right. Well, I think that's it. Stay tuned. Subscribe. We are going to keep hitting the Mopar stuff. We love Mopars. We're Mopar guys. We'll come back with a Camaro at some point. But as for now, we'd rather play with the Mopars. So I think that's it. All right. AMF.